Have you ever felt an inexplicable connection to a place you've never been? Or perhaps experienced déjà vu so intense, it felt like a memory from another life? You may wake up one morning with a deep sense that something about your current life doesn't quite fit. As if you were meant to be someone else, somewhere else, at some other time. These are not random feelings. They are echoes. Faint but real signals from a version of yourself that lived long before this one. You don't believe in past lives, that's fine, but consider this. Every major spiritual tradition across the world, Hinduism, Buddhism, Taoism, even early Christianity, has acknowledged the reality of reincarnation. Science, too, has started catching up. Researchers have documented cases of children who recall vivid details of lives they couldn't possibly know, verified historical facts they had no access to, and even speak languages they were never taught. One such case was that of James Leininger, a boy from Louisiana who, at the age of 2, began having nightmares about being shot down in a plane during World War II. He spoke of flying over water, crashing into the ocean, and seeing a ship called the His parents, stunned by the specificity, did research and found that a pilot named James Houston Jr. had died aboard the Natoma Bay in 1945. The child even drew sketches of the plane, knew technical terms like Mustang, and referred to himself as James from the plane. This isn't fiction. This is history remembered through the soul. So what exactly are past lives, and why does mainstream science still treat them like myth? Past lives are not just stories we tell ourselves to make sense of our fears or desires. They are actual experiences stored within the consciousness of your soul, fragments of identity, emotion, trauma, wisdom, and even talent carried forward from previous incarnations. Think of your soul as a library, and each lifetime as a book filled with lessons learned, relationships forged, and unfinished business left behind. When you die, the physical body ends, but the essence of who you are, your consciousness, continues. It moves on, carrying the imprints of everything you've ever done, felt, or believed. Your current life is not the first time you've walked this earth. It's simply the latest chapter in a much longer story. And here's the shocking truth. You already remember parts of your past lives. You just don't realize it. Those irrational fears, unexplained attractions, sudden waves of grief for no reason. These are not glitches. They are memories trying to surface. If you've ever stood in front of a painting and felt tears well up without knowing why, or heard a song and suddenly felt transported to another time, that's not imagination, that's memory. So why don't we remember more clearly? Because society tells us we shouldn't. We're conditioned to believe that life begins at birth and ends at death. Anything beyond that is labeled as fantasy, superstition, or delusion. But the mind is not the brain. Consciousness is not limited to biology. There is growing evidence from near-death experience research, quantum physics, and psychology that suggests consciousness may exist outside of time and space altogether. Dr. Ian Stevenson, a psychiatrist and researcher at the University of Virginia, spent over 40 years documenting thousands of cases of children claiming to remember past lives. He meticulously investigated each one, cross-referencing names, dates, locations, and personal details. Many of these children record specific events, scars, matching wounds from their past lives, and even emotional attachments to people they had known in another incarnation. He didn't believe in reincarnation at first, but after decades of research, he concluded that there was no other explanation that could account for the data. So if you're beginning to suspect that your soul has lived many times before, then ask yourself this. What if your greatest challenges today are not caused by your upbringing, your genetics or your environment, but by unresolved karma from lifetimes ago? Yes, karma. Not the vague, New Age idea of cosmic punishment, but the energetic imprint of choices made in past lives that continue to shape your present. Karma is not about punishment. It's about pattern recognition. Every action creates a ripple. Every decision leaves a mark. And when those marks are not resolved in one lifetime, they carry over into the next. That's why some people seem to attract the same kind of pain, the same relationship dynamics, the same failures. Not because they're cursed, but because they're repeating cycles they haven't yet healed. But here's the good news. You can remember. You can reconnect with who you were before. You can uncover the hidden truths buried deep in your subconscious, and use that knowledge to transform your life today. There are ways to tap into those memories. Real, practical methods. No crystals, no chanting, no fake regression hypnosis. Just powerful techniques rooted in neuroscience, meditation, breathwork, and psychological exploration. Let's begin. Why you don't remember, and how to break through you don't. You remember your past lives because your brain filters out information it deems unnecessary for survival. Evolutionarily speaking, remembering your past life wouldn't help you survive in this one. So your conscious mind blocks it, but your subconscious remembers everything. Every wound, every love, every war, every betrayal, every triumph, every loss. It all exists inside you, encoded in the neural pathways of your brain, the cellular memory of your body, and the energetic field surrounding your spirit. That's why certain places feel familiar, certain faces feel like home, certain fears feel irrational but deeply ingrained. That's also why some people are born with extraordinary talents, prodigies who pick up instruments they've never touched, or children who speak languages they've never learned. They aren't starting from zero, they're picking up where they left off. If you want to access those memories, you must bypass the analytical mind and reach the deeper layers of your consciousness. That requires discipline, consistency, and willingness to confront whatever comes up. Here's how to do it. Step 1. Raise your vibration. The first step to accessing past life memories is to raise your vibrational frequency. Memory retrieval is not a mental process, it's an energetic one. At lower frequencies, dominated by fear, doubt, and survival-based thinking, your consciousness remains locked in the present. But when you elevate your energy through gratitude, love, joy, peace, you begin to resonate with higher dimensions of awareness, including the ones that hold your past life memories. Start by practicing daily meditation. Sit in silence for 20 minutes each morning, focusing only on your breath. As thoughts arise, acknowledge them and let them go. Over time, this practice will quiet the constant chatter of the ego and allow deeper impressions to surface. Add affirmations to your routine. Say things like, I am open to remembering my past lives. My soul knows the truth. I trust the memories that come to me. Say them with conviction. Feel them. Speak them aloud. The universe responds to vibration, not just words. Also, spend time in nature. Walk barefoot on the earth. Let sunlight touch your skin. Nature operates at a high frequency. Immersing yourself in it helps you align with the natural rhythms of the soul. Step 2. Use breathwork to access deeper states. Breath is the bridge between the body and the soul. Conscious breathing can unlock suppressed memories, emotions, and even entire lifetimes trapped in the subconscious. Try this technique. Lie down in a quiet space. Close your eyes. Inhale deeply through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold the breath for 4 seconds. Exhale slowly through your mouth for 6 seconds. Repeat this cycle for 10 minutes. As you breathe, allow images, sensations, or emotions to appear. Do not force anything, just observe. Often, memories will come in flashes, a face, a voice, a feeling, a scene. Write them down immediately afterward. Many people report spontaneous past life recollections during deep breathing sessions. Some see themselves dressed in ancient clothing. Others feel the sensation of drowning, falling, or burning. Signs of traumatic deaths in previous lives. This is not hallucination. This is memory. Step 3. Journey into lucid dreaming. Dreams are the language of the unconscious mind, and the unconscious mind holds the door to your past lives. Lucid dreaming, becoming aware that you are dreaming while still in the dream, gives you direct access to the subconscious. With practice, you can use lucid dreams to explore past life scenarios, meet former versions of yourself, and even receive guidance from souls who traveled with you in other lifetimes. To begin, set a clear intention before sleep. Say out loud, tonight, I will remember my past lives. I will become lucid and explore who I was before. Keep a dream journal beside your bed. As soon as you wake up, write down every detail you remember, no matter how small. Eventually, you'll start recognizing patterns, recurring symbols, places, people. These are clues leading you back to forgotten chapters of your soul's journey. Step 4. Revisit places that trigger strong emotions sometimes. All it takes is standing in a certain location for memories to flood back. Pay attention to places that evoke strong emotional reactions in you. Cities, buildings, landscapes. If you visit a foreign country and feel an overwhelming sense of familiarity, that's not coincidence. One woman visited Egypt for the first time and burst into tears upon seeing the pyramids. She couldn't explain it, but later, under hypnosis, she recalled living as a priestess in ancient Egypt, walking those very grounds in ceremonial robes. You don't need to travel far. Even walking through an old neighborhood, stepping into a church, or passing by a particular street can awaken dormant memories. When you feel a strong emotional reaction to a place, stop. Breathe. Ask silently, who was I here before? Then listen. Step 5. Pay attention to your dreams and daydreams. Some people don't need to meditate or travel to access past life memories. They receive them naturally, in dreams, daydreams, or moments of deep reflection. If you've ever had a dream that felt more real than waking life, where you spoke in a different language, wore unfamiliar clothes, or held a job you've never had, that wasn't just a dream. That was a memory. Pay attention to the details. Was there a war, a marriage, a betrayal, a great love? Write it down, reflect on it. Chances are, it's part of your soul's history. Even creative writing can trigger past life memories. When you write a story about a character from another time, you may find yourself channeling real experiences from your own past. Step 6. Work with a skilled past life regression therapist. If you're serious about uncovering your past lives, working with a trained therapist can accelerate the process. Past life regression therapy uses guided hypnosis to access memories stored in the subconscious. Under deep relaxation, clients often describe detailed accounts of past identities, sometimes giving historically accurate information they had no prior knowledge of. This is not about believing blindly. It's about opening your mind to possibilities you've never considered. A skilled practitioner will guide you gently through the process, helping you navigate emotions, trauma, and insights without forcing any conclusions. Remember, the goal is not to prove you lived before. The goal is to heal what needs healing, whether it originated in this life or the last. Step 7. Understand the purpose behind the memories. Once you begin recalling past lives, the next question becomes, why does it matter now? Because every memory you retrieve serves a purpose. It's not just about curiosity, it's about transformation. You may discover that the person you hated in this life was once your closest ally in another, or that the fear of abandonment you carry stems from being betrayed centuries ago. These revelations bring clarity. They shift your perspective. They give meaning to pain that once seemed pointless. More importantly, they offer closure. When you understand where your fears, talents, and relationships come from, you can finally release the energy that's been holding you back. You stop being a prisoner of the past and start becoming the author of your future. Final thoughts. The shocking truth is within you. The truth about your past lives is not hidden in books, rituals, or gurus. It's inside you, waiting, watching, whispering. You don't need permission to remember. You don't need validation. You only need to be willing to look inward and trust what's up, because the soul never forgets. It only waits for you to remember. So, take a deep breath, close your eyes, and ask yourself one final question. Who was I before I became me? Listen carefully. The answer might just change everything.